Wow, such a nice start. Welcome everybody today here for the EIT Urban Mobility South Demoday. We will start with a welcome with Eden Janasvili that is at home, unluckily, and she will present it, I guess, in those screens. Later we will continue with the pitches. You are the startups, you are the center of this demo day, so this event is for you. Later on we will continue with a roundtable and the jury that is on the third row. You have Michael Olivet from UPF, Matteo Consoni from EIT Urban Mobility, Christian Bardagi from RAC, and Uriol Mas from SEAT that also will do a keynote after this welcome. And well, then we will have a roundtable with Robbie from Via Power, then Xavier Ruiz from Smart Monkey, and I don't see Cristina Juarez from RAC, but she will be here for sure. And afterwards we will continue. So please, if welcome from Eden can be, I don't know, connected or from home, from the Zoom platform.
Yes, thank you. Thank you, Albert. Thank you. So as you said, unfortunately, I wasn't able to be there physically. However, I would like to welcome everyone to this third edition of our acceleration program of the EIT Urban Mobility Hub South. I'm just gonna give you a quick overview about our acceleration program, and then I'm gonna hand over to Uriol Mas from SEAT for his keynote. So just to provide you a very brief overview.
Wait a second, Eden.
Yeah.
We are not
seeing... Can you see my screen?
Nope. So if you wait, last minute changes always have these small
I'm
problems.
sharing it. I'm sharing the screen already, so...
Don't worry. We've seen it before, so we know it works.
I can unscreen it again, if that will work.
Okay, now I'm seeing you. Okay, now we see you.
Now it's working?
Yep.
Yes? Okay.
Now
so thank you, Albert.
Now you should share the the slides.
So now, are you able to see the screen, or should I unscreen and share it again?
So we are seeing you.
Okay, you are seeing me, but not my screen. Okay, so wait. I'm gonna unshare it, and I'm gonna share it again.
She's in the International Space Station, and we are connecting.
Can you see my screen now? Albert, do you see my screen now? No?
No, but I guess you can.
No? Okay.
You can present the figures.
Then, yeah, it doesn't matter. I will present without sharing my screen. Okay. So, sorry for these technical issues. Before it was working, so I don't know what happened, but it's okay. So just to provide you a very brief overview about our acceleration program, we are part of the EIT Urban Mobility in the Business Creation Department, and we basically focus on the South European countries, such as Greece, Italy, Portugal, Spain, and so on. We basically provide this is an acceleration program that is organized by 5 partners. It's a consortium composed of the city of Barcelona, the Universidad of Pompeu Fabra, CARNET, CTAG, and last but not least, the UPC, which is leading the acceleration program for Hub South. We provide some benefits to the startups that are part of our program. We provide them with a granting of 5,000 euros. We provide them access to cities, to community, to the industry, and we also provide them with mentors in the technical and business side. This acceleration program is the third edition, so we have started in 2020, and we have had different applications of startups from different industry like mobility services, last mile and logistics, sensor and training data, mapping and navigation, autonomous vehicles, connected vehicles, and many, many more. In our previous edition, this is the third one, so in our two previous edition, we accelerated 5 startups in each program, and we got in our first edition, we had Smart Monkey, Go Ticket, Vianova, Fluctuo, and Journeyfy. In our second edition, we had Asimov, Via, Solum, Pavnex, and Move. And in this edition, we're having 5 more startups that are going to present today. And they are Volvero, Deeptraffic, Pendel, MinervaS, and Inteligg. We are looking forward to present and show you our startups. And this is from my side. I'm going to hand over to Uriol Mas from SEAT, who is going to be able to talk about the future of mobility and the future of SEAT projects. Thank you.
Thank you, Eden. Now, yes.
Hello, everybody. I'm Muriel Mas. I work at the Technical Center in SEAT, and I'm responsible for driving assistance systems for the parking ones, and also involved in innovation, and that's why I'm here, because our main topic is to work on the autonomous cars, and that's why I cooperate with my colleague Mireia Gilibert, who isn't here today, but she's working very hard at a project like this. And as I said, we are focusing on autonomous cars and urban mobility. So that's why I'm here, and I'm going to present the project Celeste. So as you all can read, it's a very complicated name that I won't read. So I will start with the consortium. You see a lot of cities. You see Seat Cupra and Skoda. You see universities and other companies, and the CTAG as a technical research center of Galicia as main partners. So what are we talking about here? We are talking about cities with high levels of congestion, and cities where you can manage the traffic flow in a very, let's say, old way, so with static speed limits, which are not able to adapt to unforeseen circumstances, such as if Football Club Barcelona is playing, then everything collapses and nobody knows. Okay. Everyone should know, but everyone is caught up in traffic. So we are aiming at tomorrow by thinking about traffic management centers that can include new models that can get data from several parts, and in order to manage this traffic flow in a more efficient way. So what are goals from this project? First goal is to analyze the synergies between the dynamic speed limits and ISA. ISA is an intelligent speed assistant. So it's important to, first of all, have a traffic management center that can compute at which velocity the cars should drive in order to maximize the flow. And then you should have cars that are able to adapt to this automatically with a driving assistance system. So the second goal is to define solutions for the entire traffic management value chain. And as results, we have built a speed advisory tool and dynamic speed limit compliance and enforcement system, which means that we have an onboard computer on the car that can communicate with the traffic management system. So what's our focus? It's first of all to study and analyze the city's needs, and then to check the required technologies for connected and autonomous vehicles in order to accelerate our capacities and design new solutions for future urban mobility. As milestones, we have already accomplished the first one, which was to build a communication system in our prototype car that is called Diana. I will show some pictures later. And we are also doing on-street testing in Zona Franca, and we'll do a demo tomorrow that I will also talk about. So beginning in the first studies, so with a simulator, we took 3 environments, 2 urban ones that you can see, a urban intersection and a scholar area. And I don't have here the simulator images, but you can imagine a flow of cars depending on the traffic density and velocity, and by this way, these studies proved that you can achieve a more fluent traffic with lower emissions and safer roads when you adapt the maximum velocity at such an area. So let's say that currently in this intersection you can drive until 50 kilometers per hour, but if you can regulate it, if the traffic density is increasing or something like that, then you can reduce to 30, for example, and then you have a better flow. This is the technical demo that we will perform tomorrow at the Zona Franca. So we took a closed environment in this area, and what we are driving here with our prototype, and the car is receiving these messages from the traffic management center telling him he should go down to 10 kilometers per hour and then increase again to 30 kilometers per hour. So it's a quite, let's say, simple demo, but we are very proud of it because it's simple, but it can show a very powerful tool that is already working. If everything works fine, we will move next year to the scholar area I showed before, and then we can see in a more dense traffic in the city that the same demo will work. The car that we are using, it's the Diana. This is based on a Seat Leon, and we built up some extra sensors, like lidars on the roof and on the sides of the car. And by this way, we can get until level 3 of autonomy, which means that there has always to be a driver, but the system gets the control, and the driver has to be there in order, if there are some problems, that he can get back the control of the car. And the last slide is this demo video. I hope it works. So the video were some tests in the proving ground of CTAG, and I hope you saw that the car was driving autonomously, and it got some signals in order to reduce velocity because there was another, let's say, crashed car there. So that's all from my side. Thank you very much. If there are some questions, please. Otherwise, I will give the control to Albert.
Okay, thank you very much, Uriel. Nobody has questions. That's how it usually works. But I think it's amazing to know that, well, next future cars will also communicate with the road and the beacons you will place there. So now it's the turn for the pitches. It will start with Pendel. I can see you, but I know that you were around there. When you're in here, you have those lights. Okay, thank you. Here. Christian.
Is it already working?
Wait until you have the slides, and then yes.
Okay. Yeah, can you hear me well? All right, perfect. Well, thanks everyone. Thanks Albert. Thank Roel for the keynote speech this morning. Welcome. Good morning. We're going to talk about public transport in suburban areas. Public transport providers, they are facing huge challenges to serve suburban areas. And the main reason for that is that it's very expensive to staff bus drivers in areas where there are just very few paying travelers. That means that for these local transport providers, at the moment, they have to, in order to reduce cost, they have to remove the amount of buses driving around, or even remove complete bus connections overall. That means that for the suburban resident, they have no incentive to move away, let's say, from their own car, which leads to higher congestion, more CO2, and also more social inequality. That means that we have to restore the public transport network and quality while make it affordable to operate by the transport providers. Thankfully, there are solutions. As we also just have seen in the presentation this morning, integrated automated demand response transport can be the potential solution. With larger fleet of vehicles, usually smaller vehicles, without bus drivers, responding to on-demand requests from travelers, the transport provider is able to provide both a higher quality of public transport service, but also have it more affordable for themselves to operate. However, what do you need in order to deploy such a service? So Christian and I, we have been working, before we started with Pendel, with transport providers in Hanover and Inverness to support them to integrate an automated shuttle in the public transport system. And there we realized how many different services are needed to actually deploy such a service, and also how many providers you need to integrate. So this ranges from technology services, technology providers, such as, well, the automated shuttles themselves, the on-demand applications, also hardware, like smart storage, smart charging, and also all the surrounding services, like insurance, compliance to local regulation. And we thought, how can we make this easier for the transport providers? And that's the reason that we started Pendel, because we want to make this whole process of integrating automated transport to public transport more easy and more cheap. So how do we do that? So as Pendel, we aggregate different type of solution providers. We do that through partnerships we have with all the different providers, and for each service, we select what we think at that moment is the most suitable provider for the client. And therefore, we can look at, for example, the cost, but also at the quality of the provider. For the client, which is in our case most often the public transport operator, but can also be a private site owner, like a business park, for them, we as Pendel, we act as a single service provider, which means that they don't have to deal with 10 different providers anymore. So they don't have to source, select, evaluate, and integrate 10 providers in their public transport system. That means as Pendel, we act as a one-stop shop for our clients. For our clients, that means that it will be much easier, less complex, but overall more cost-effective to integrate their public transport, automated shuttles in their public transport system. We can also ensure high quality because we can integrate the best provider that we think is suitable for the service needed. And we have service flexibility. That means we see that the market changes quickly, we see that the technology changes quickly, and that means that maybe the providers we work with today are not maybe as relevant anymore tomorrow, and we can easily interchange those. And that's how we also can provide continuity over the long term, because that's what our clients look for, a reliable transport service over time. So how would this work in practice? Oh, is it working?
Well, actually, to prove that our concept actually works, we're already developing 3 projects with different providers in 3 different locations right now. For example, in Hanover, we're connecting a university with the nearest train station. In Inverness, in Scotland, we're connecting a business park with the nearest campus. And at the Port of Barcelona, we try to test our concept with port workers at the World Trade Center right here around the corner. And for next year, we're already in conversations with more than 6 potential locations as well, as we're going to participate in probably 2 Horizon Europe proposals. We're most probably going to focus on public transport operators and site owners throughout Europe. In our direct network, we have already 20 PTOs and private site owners identified, which would translate into a potential contract volume between 5 up to 50 million euros. Of course, we're not limited to that. We're only restrained by the languages that we speak, so we can target the Belgian, the Dutch, the German, the British, the French, and the Spanish market as well. And of course, we can reach out to all of Europe, which would translate into a potential market size of up to 6 billion euros. We claim that our business model is future-proof and scalable. Why? Well, currently, we're working with 1 to 3 vehicles, but we're actually going to integrate larger fleets in the next 2 to 3 years. But our business model and our concept is not restrained only to public passenger movement. Actually, we can also integrate any kind of future mobility concept, such as urban air mobility or logistics. So what do we need right now to scale? Well, in the next 1.5 years, we require about 600,000 euros to go to the next step, of which 200,000 euros we already have secured through European funding and project participations. That means that we're now seeking 400,000 euros in investment in exchange for 15% of equity. Where are we going to use these funds? Well, 20% will go directly into the management of the projects that are going to be kicked off next year. 35% will be used to identify new kind of suppliers, form new partnerships. And the majority of the funds will most likely go into the identification of new business opportunities throughout Europe. Our growing team of 6 is actually coming from 5 different countries with various backgrounds from engineering, financing, and management. And we're also supported by a very knowledgeable pool of senior advisors that support us on building effective public-private partnerships and good business modeling. So now I really encourage you to join us in revolutionizing public transport with us. Thank you very much, and we're happy to answer any questions.
So now, the jury, if the jury has any question for them. No? Matteo? Yeah.
Hello. Does it work? Yeah?
No, yeah.
We meet in person for the first time. Matteo from EIT Urban Mobility.
Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you.
So what do you think were your main achievements during the program, during the acceleration programs?
During the acceleration program,
Yeah.
I would say it was really interesting to talk with our business and technology mentors to understand a bit how we should shape our concept so that it becomes a sound business model. And we did that together with people at CTAG from the UPF and CARNET as well.
And maybe to add, I think sharpening, let's say, our business model also convinced our clients to, let's say, provide us the contracts to get started. So I think in the last few months, we got these 3 contracts in of the project that Christian presented. And I think for them, let's say, the final push was just us having a clearer story and a clear idea on the business model that we have as Pendel and what the benefits are for the clients.
Hi, I'm Miguel Oliver from UPF. So nice to meet you, and thank you for the presentation. It was very, enthusiastic. But for me, it's not clear which is the real product or the real service you are trying to provide. So if you can briefly explain it a little bit, would be in order to have a more clear idea for a particular entity, for a particular city, for example, interested in this kind of revolution. Which is the product you are providing to the city?
Exactly. Yeah. So for a transport operator or for a city, the service we provide is automated demand responsive transport. And what we do is we aggregate all these different solutions from providers and we white label it towards, let's say, the specifics of the final client. So what we do is we aggregate and then we also provide the integration. So therefore act as a single service supplier.
I don't know.
So maybe following this question, could you describe what's the customer journey, let's say?
Yeah. I mean, I can give it a go maybe. So usually the customer journey is that we start with the customer, we start with the client, and we first start to identify where does it actually make sense. Where does automated demand responsive transport make sense? Like what bus lines, what routes, what connections. So that's how we get started. From that moment on, that's usually when the client will start to, let's say, to source the market for potential providers to see what is out there on the market. Well, that process, that's done by us. So we then look, okay, what kind of technology would be relevant for the client. And that's basically how we present, let's say, the integrated solution. And that's, let's say, the moment for them to either purchase it.
Okay, so I guess here was the last question for you. Thank you again.
Thank you.
And now, Evangelos, yes.
For you?
For him.
Right, thank you.
From Deeptraffic, he's going to present also his speech. I guess this is the right spot.
Okay.
Okay.
Hi.
Nice.
I hope you can hear me. Okay, great. Hi, my name is Evangelos Mitsakis, and I'm the CEO of Deeptraffic. Deeptraffic is a recently established spin-off company of the National Center for Research and Technology in Greece, and we are working on traffic management for connected and automated vehicles. The main asset of the company, I believe, is our team. It's a group of 8. We are all the co-founders and colleagues for several years now, with expertise in both technical and business-related aspects. The problem that we address is quite simple, I believe. It's called traffic congestion and road safety. And currently, these are managed by traffic management centers, which, however, are human-intensive. They require a lot of technical staff, of experienced staff, and they require also a lot of roadside equipment in order to operate properly. And also, they fail to sufficiently exploit the data that is available. However, in parallel, we see a huge opportunity which comes from the developments in the automotive sector mostly, the prevailing connected and automated vehicles, and the technologies which are already quite mature in this domain. Our value proposition is future-proof dynamic traffic management, and we see us providing value in 4 different ways. First, by adding operational automation and intelligence to existing systems, by exploiting connected and automated mobility for traffic management, by supporting traffic management as a service, and also by exploiting multiple sources of real-time data. And as you can see, we can achieve impacts in the order of 20 to 50% in several major key performance indicators. Our product is called Deeptraffic 101. It's a software technology which is able to manage traffic of connected and automated vehicles. I don't know why the switch is by itself. I apologize. It's comprised by 4 main modules: a scenario manager, which does the actual traffic management part, a dashboard, which visualizes in real time all key performance indicators, a CATS message broker that broadcasts this information to connected and automated vehicles, and also we have a mobile app, but this mobile app can be the vehicle itself practically. Concerning our status, we have already completed 4 pilots in Greece in urban and highway environments. We're currently deploying our solution commercially in 2 traffic management centers in Greece. And also with the assistance of KIC, we are in contact with several other cities in Europe and outside Europe for deploying our technology. Of course, we participate in several acceleration and business development projects and programs like EIT. The market that we address is the global intelligent transportation systems market. It's estimated at around 32 billion euros globally, at around 13 billion euros in Europe, and approximately 50 million of those are in Greece, with an estimated annual growth rate of 15 to 20%. Concerning our go-to-market strategy, of course, we target initially to the Greek market because it's easier for us, and then we have a prioritized list for European countries. The strategy includes distributor channels, commercial partnerships, and direct sales. And as I said already, we have commercial projects ongoing. Our revenue model includes 3 variations: a standard software license, software as a service, or traffic management as a service. And of course, we can provide any supporting activities that the customer might need. Concerning our competition, this is comprised by large ITS vendors, by other startup companies, by system integrators, and by traffic data aggregators, which is quite interesting. But we believe that we are quite well positioned against all those guys, and actually our approach is not to compete, but actually to cooperate with them. Concerning the 5-year projections of ours, we would like to achieve more than 60 customers in total in the next 5 years, with an average annual growth rate of more than 300%. Our goal is to have sales of more than 12 million euros at the 5th year, with an EBITDA of over 25% from the 4th year onwards. And actually, we're looking for approximately €500,000 of investment in 2022 to achieve these growth targets. Thank you very much.
Yes. Thank you for your presentation too. I think it's very good idea and very neat for the cities, especially for the crowd cities.
Thank you.
But if I understood correctly, your business model relies on the fraction of connected and automated vehicles that is there, which is the forecast, the provision you have there. And if these figures are not reached, do you have a B plan in order to progress in your business model?
Perhaps the information was presented too quickly from me. I don't know if you got it in the slide with a product. I mentioned that we also have an application, which practically means that every one of us today can use connected vehicle services. We broadcast those through 2 communication channels, either the cellular one, which is very easy to use, or the more sophisticated but expensive G5 one, which is a short-range communication channel for connected vehicles. So we can provide traffic management services as we speak today in cities as they exist today, and this happens already in 2 cities in Thessaloniki. But I believe our product is mostly suited when there is no driver in the loop. So, and this is related perhaps also to the project that was presented at the beginning, where information from a traffic management center goes directly to the ECU of the vehicle, and there is no need for the driver to adjust or change lanes or reroute or whatever. We can in real time send the underlying CATS messages, which are standardized in order to guide a fully automated vehicle.
Okay, thank you.
In your go-to-market slide, there was a mention related to a pilot in Paris.
Yeah.
Can you tell us something about that?
Yeah. We won yesterday the prize from the Galileo Masters program of the European Space Agency. And as part of that, the city of Paris has asked us to do a pilot, not a demo, in the city of Paris. We plan to start at beginning of next year. Of course, right now there are constraints also because of the pandemic, because we need to travel there, but it is not very clear when and how. But yes, we will have a full deployment of our software, of our technology in Paris in 2022.
For how long?
I think for 9 months. Yes.
Yeah. Congratulations for your presentation.
Thank you.
You mentioned you want to achieve 60 clients in 5 years.
Yeah.
Which is the balance between public authorities and road authorities, I mean municipalities and out of the city contracts?
Well, the categories of our clients there are two large groups. One group are the traffic management centers in cities. These are mostly public, although in several cases, also in Barcelona, they are operated by private companies at the end. And then there is another large group, which are the highways. Depending on the country, if the highways are public or have been privatized, again, this might be public or private. So we target primarily to those two groups, and we have some very specific targets in mind with, as I said also in my presentation, with a priority in which countries and which cities and which exact highways we want to work with. Hopefully we will achieve it. It's a target, I don't know.
Okay, so thank you, Evangelos.
Thank you.
I think it worked perfect for the jury questions.
Thank you.
Now it's the turn for Inteligg. I guess you, Christos, I don't know if you are in Greece today, but I guess you will present now. And then we will do the questions from the jury.
Yes, hello everyone. I'm in Greece actually right now, and I will do my presentation. I hope you can see it well. Yeah. So, my name is Christos Iachimidis. I'm the CEO and co-founder of Smartbox of Inteligg, actually, a company that is based in Athens, Greece. And what I will present you today is Smartbox for you. So we know that the increase in human mobility creates problems, environmental and social ones. And especially we have this effect on the transportation sector, that it is 33% responsible for the final energy consumption. And up from 25 to 1%, we have PM 2.5 emissions in European Union of 27. 2.5 particulate matters it means diameter in micro. And they can create a number of different problems in the health, asthma, cardiovascular, lung cancer, and so on. And it has been proved in the last year and a half that they are directly correlated also with the COVID, which means 1 microgram per cubic meter results in up to 50% of increase in the COVID one. So, very dangerous. What exists right now? Well, actually, the monitoring to be able in urban environments are just fixed stations. They have dedicated mobile equipment, but they do have high investment cost, maintenance a lot, and the data that is concentrated is not very accurate and very coarse. What we suggest is a Smartbox for you, which is a device, a 4x4x2, as you can see on the left side of the slide. It's a low-cost sensor device. It's portable, yes, and we can have with a mobile app a special mapping of the city by making use of crowdsourcing techniques. That means vehicle to vehicle, people to people. So we have the map of air quality, of urban air quality, of the PM 2.5 by making use of the micro mobility services like fleets which happens actually on real time. This is if we would be able to make a comparison with what exists in this case. So you can see the 4 different parameters. It's portable continuous monitoring. It is based on crowdsourced city maps. It's very highly accurate and reliable, something that we have proved in 2 cities in 2 countries, in Greece and Belgium. And there is a unit cost pricing, which is very low if we go ahead in the micro-mobility services starting from 200 euros compared with any other existing ones. So there are different business opportunities, like for example, for people that they suffer from asthma, and they have a number of people that they have this in Europe, as well as the people that they are diagnosed, which are around 400,000. And there is of course a cost regarding this, okay? And of course, on the other hand, there is a willingness to do so. Just this is one market. We have another market. This is the micro-mobility services that we know that's been increasing actually continuously. And sorry for making this, but it seems that I have, like you can see it. There's micro-mobility services that they are increasing continuously, and they are looking to be able to have a 14.4% annual growth rate, okay? But at the same time, the other application can be in existing transport modes, like transport operators, like in case of ETRA, public bus operators, or private scooter fleets. What it offers, the benefits in the cities and the companies. So these are the customers, we would rather say. We have avoid negative impacts on health, safety, environment, high impact for many citizens at the same time. It can be transferable to other cities, so there is a replicability in the region of areas inside the cities with real-time contamination information, while of course, regarding the companies, it gives a competitive service market advantage, as well as the transport operators. Now, this is an example which can be used, actually could be used in case of Barcelona or Milan. You can see on red once the amount of milligrams that they are above the World Health Organization limits and very close to the ones of European Union. And these are some areas, for example, in case of cities like Barcelona or Milano or any other kind of cities, that they have these problems to be able to go ahead and regulate the emissions very fast and very easily. The model that we are using is a business to business, business to government. And that means that we have the modular device, which can be of 200 euros, but can raise up to 2,000 euros, depending on the case that we would like, if that would be, for example, a car case, yeah? And at the same time, we are having an access to quality, a subscription fee of 50 euros per year. We have some target markets right now, which is Greece, Benelux, and Spain. And we're looking forward to be able to go, of course, in other European markets as well as globally. And the financial projections that you can see actually in that is that in that graph is that we will be able to have a positive EBITDA in the 3rd year, just based on the fact that we are having a hardware and a software, and the hardware is in the price of 200 euros and not 2,000 euros, which is actually something that lately we have considered to change our business model, since it seems to be much more profitable. Now, this is what we are right now and what is our schedule for the next years, 2022 up to 2024, to be able to produce a number of units and have strategic partnership with automotive companies, and not only, and of course, to be able to have companies and cities as a customers in Greece, Benelux, and Spain, and Turkey. And we are in a collaboration and in conversation with the ones that you can see here. So this is the break-even, as I mentioned before, that we will be able to have in the 3rd year. And I have to state once again, it's a break-even in the beginning of the 3rd year, but just based on the 200 euros per unit, which is actually not exactly the case, since we have a modular device. We are looking for 850,000 for 18 months on a 20% equity. And you can see how they will be distributed, the funds that we're looking for, starting from the personnel, sales, the sensor and electronic material, and so on. And finally, just to mention, we have been able to, as a company, to be selected of the best ones in Greece, in the Elevate Greece, and to be funded for the hardware, so to be able to make it, as well, of course, from EIT Urban Mobility and other accelerators. And all this, of course, have been shown in a very prestigious journal that we have published a few years ago. I think it's a base of a number of different other studies in the Census Journal. All this, of course, cannot be done if we didn't have a very strong team, starting from myself and along with the rest of the team, 7 persons, 4 full-time, 3 part-time, 5 PhDs, a long experience on that field. And at the end, just to mention that the company itself is the one that I saw you before and makes products in various sets of energy transport environment. And we have been able to achieve from the first moment the seal of excellence from European Union regarding this product service and the rest of the funding itself. That was my presentation. Looking forward for your questions. Thank you.
Okay, now, yeah, it's time for.
Hi, Christos, and thank you for your presentation. It was very clear. I have just a couple of very quick questions. First of all, if there is any patent behind the device in order to protect the intellectual property.
Yes.
And the second one is also regarding the product, if there is any maintenance needed in order to keep all the devices up and running during the whole time.
Yes. Actually, we are in the process of patent. We have been funded by European Union, and actually we are hoping, if not at the end of the month of December, beginning of 2022, to be able to submit it. It takes some considerable time to do so, but it's in our, let's say, our first, one of our 3 first priorities, I would rather say, to do so. And sorry, what was your second question?
My second question was about the device. If you need to keep this device up and running, if it needs some maintenance during its life.
Maintenance, okay, because this is a device that works by battery. That means that we have a battery, a small battery, that it is between 2 to 3 years, yes? So on the other hand, if it is connected to the cars, then this is not necessary. So we have it in 2 different ways, if it is individual or not. If it is connected with a power source, there is no problem, no maintenance.
Okay, thank you.
Hello, Christos. Thanks for the presentation. What did you achieve during this program? How did this program help you growing?
Very nice questions. Well, what we have mainly did in this program was to rethink our clients and what would be the sector that would be most profitable, our device, our hardware software. So we finally found out that we can make use of the micromobility services for sure, but especially in some kind of sectors like the scooter sectors or small car sectors. But even more, we can make use also of the operators, of the transport operators. So to, as a total, I would rather say that we have been able to reshape our business model, and we know very well right now with whom we have to talk and what we have to do so to be a very profitable case.
Thank you, Christos. Can you hear me?
Yes,
Hello?
a little bit deep, but
it's Oriol from SEAT. So my question is regarding your collaboration with the car industry. How do you imagine that?
Well, we know that we are able to make the product, because what was in the beginning, what we were trying to be able was to downsize the product. It was very difficult to downsize. It took us 2 years so to be able to make it in 4x4x2. Right now, it can be applicable to any kind of the automotive sector, even more in the car sector. So what we would like to be able to do so is to to agree with the automotive company so that they would rather include that in their own on the design of the cars, like a special feature, I would rather say, so that they can show to the rest of the automotive companies that, hey, here we have something that you do not have. We can have in real time, the PM 2.5, that you can really measure them real time while being circulating in their urban street, yes. So this is, I think, something that we would like to establish a collaboration with the automotive companies.
Okay, thank you.
One last question concerning the business model.
Yes.
You mentioned you expect some kind of people paying 50 euros a year for getting access to the data. What are you pointing with,
Yes.
with this objective?
Well, the point is, if, for example, you are making use this on a scooter company or on the cities themselves, then the people that they would like to make to apply this, to have this device, would like to know a few things regarding the health, let's say the PM 2.5. So you are selling to them by making them a subscription to know what kind of, okay? So if you are a city, yes, if the customer is a city itself, and then they are coming, they say, we would like to be able to apply this to an electric scooter fleet that exists, for example, in a big city, then you can say, okay, you take it, we can put it, but then again, you will have to pay per device the data analysis. This is the subscription fee, the data analysis. And this is only for the micro-mobility services model, because if that would be on the pure automotive, then that would be also a little bit different, I would rather say. Because data analysis, data mining, that we have to be able to make use of the, the crowdsourcing as it is. This is a post. It's not just putting the hardware itself and then it works out. It seems we have to analyze all the data so to be able to make the spatial mapping and so on. So this is the subscription fee. That's it. The data analysis, the subscription fee is for the data analysis, data mining.
Okay. Thank you very much, Christos. Now it will be time for MinervaS. Also,
thank you.
They had problems coming to Barcelona, so I guess they are in Italy. We will expect to see them again. Today is quite a difficult day for everybody traveling from outside. This year we have two companies from Greece, 2 companies from Italy, and the guys from Pendel that are here in Barcelona, but well, we have also to speak in English with them, so great. Okay, Ennio.
So, good morning, everybody. Can you see my screen?
Yes.
Well, so I'm going in full screen mode.
Perfect.
Okay, seems working right.
Perfect, Ennio.
Well, so I can start. First of all, thank you for the invitation. My name is Ennio. I am the CEO and the co-founder of MinervaS. MinervaS is the Italian startup and university spin-off that develops solutions for the smart and future mobility, focusing on the onboard energy optimization. Currently, MinervaS is working in the road transport sector to help in reducing the CO2 emissions of heavy-duty vehicles like trucks or buses that could together cause more than 5% of greenhouse gas emissions. Many solutions have been industrially implemented or proposed to lower these figures, along with the fuel reduction, but these solutions impact on the vehicle architecture and entail the necessity of additional equipment, causing additional cost. That's why we have created Traki for a more sustainable business that respects the environment. Traki is the ADAS speed advisor that suggests to the driver in real time the optimal speed, thanks to its patented method, without increasing the travel times and avoiding any modification to the vehicle. As you drive, Traki processes information about road elevation, such as downhill, uphill, payload, the speed limits, traffic condition, and the vehicle info to manage the speed in the most efficient way. This product was born from the experience of the research group of over 30 years in automotive, powertrain, and fuel cell fields. We integrated ADAS solution in our background and presented our preliminary results in an international benchmark. That success gave us the push towards technology transfer, and today we have an international patent with extension in Europe, USA, Canada, China, and Japan. For us, the real competition is against the fleet management products and the predictive cruise control technology. Compared to the predictive cruise control, Traki can work with all new and old generation vehicles and has a forecast look ahead of hundreds of kilometers. Moreover, to prevent any malicious attack to the vehicle through its connectivity, we have designed and patented the cybersecurity solution to work along with Traki, as we presented at Tomorrow Mobility Congress for the very first time a few days ago. And that's the best part. Traki allows to save more than 10% on energy consumption. That means that our customer fleet can save more than 3 million euros per year and more than 5,000 tons of CO2. And we even went beyond our expectation. We have just completed a proof of concept with two of the largest companies in Italy, Ferrovie dello Stato, the Italian railway company, and Eni, the Italian oil and gas company, on the application on extra-urban buses. We reached fuel saving up to 15%. Traki and Traki Plus are the software-based products proposed in a monthly subscription fee. Traki Dash is the professional hardware customized for the fleet with wired OBD connection. Traki Plus includes even the CO2 and payload estimation features together with the green route estimation. Our MVP is ready for the market. We are already working on two main goals. The first is the adoption for the future mobility. The second is the scalability through the digital integration. In fact, currently the solution is perfectly working for conventional propulsion systems like diesel, biodiesel, natural gas, for instance, but is even suitable for electric vehicle or fuel cell vehicles, for which the optimal speed profile helps in increasing the autonomy. And this increases the flexibility of the last mile delivery application. Moreover, our API will perfectly work on fleet management or navigation system product and could be fully integrated directly into the control strategies of autonomous vehicle. And as we have just seen, we are in line with the OEM needs, and we could be the perfect partner for Diana vehicle. Our business is self-sustainable and only delivering the device to our first movers and few early adopters. This will allow us to reach very interesting profit. But we need to look for fundings. To date, costs have been incurred for research, patenting, prototyping, and testing activities, and we are looking for a boost of 500 keys to provide with the requested numbers of products. I speak about a pre-order of 3,000 products. In our teams, there are all the competencies needed for our goal. From a technological point of view, we are experts in energy, propulsion, math, computation, and software engineering. From the business standpoint, we have in company one important incubator, the former CEO of the first Italian crowdfunding platform. I invite you to follow our webpage, MinervaS.it, where we are going to release our demo version in a short while. And I wish to be with all of you today, but this afternoon we are going to present the final results of our proof of concept to the railway Italian company. And I leave you with our motto, Traki, less fuel, more business, less emission, more planet.
So, thank you, Ennio. Yeah.
Thank you.
Hello, Ennio. Here, Oriol from SEAT. Can you say more or less what? I guess you are connecting to the car and getting some data from the car in order to estimate the velocity. How do you do that?
Well, I have this slide for you. We take info from the vehicle through the diagnostic port and information from internet through the maps provider like Google Maps or eMaps in order to know the information of the road. So we merge the information of the vehicle and the information of the road in order to adapt the optimal speed in real time. We have a patented solution that allows to know what is exactly the target speed that the driver should follow. And this kind of speed is constrained by the changeable speed limits that we can encounter during the routes. For us, it's a kind of dynamic constraint that allow us to know what will be the upper limit and the lower limit of our speed profile. And along with the speed limits, we even include the information of the topography of the route. That means the uphill and downhill section in order to optimize the energy of this vehicle moving on the route, and the different other kind of information. And maybe you listen that maybe Diana will be perfectly working with our solution.
I heard that, yes.
Yes, hi, Ennio, and thank you for your clear presentation. So following Oriol's questions, I imagine in the future that trucking will be fully integrated with the autonomous car, right? This is
Correct.
the plan, and in the meanwhile, you create this device, which is this is just for understanding your product, no? This is a kind of recommender of speed for the driver, right? In order to, according to the different conditions of traffic, of whatever, which is the and consumption, energy consumption, which is the optimum speed according to your algorithm, right? Is that?
It's correct.
Yes.
It's a speed advisor that at the very first stage works with the vehicles that are already on the road. I mean, conventional vehicles with diesel propulsion and so on. And our target is to work with that kind of vehicle right now, because in this way we are ready for the market. But our purpose is towards the full integration into the vehicles. In our pipeline, there is the integration into the electrical vehicles or autonomous vehicles in 2 years, and we are already working in the research on this. Our patent is fully adaptable for that kind of solution, and thanks to the support of EIT, we are going to set up pilots just to prove that our application on electrical vehicles in the urban scenario will perfectly work and will increase the autonomy.
Yes, without revealing any secret from your company, I'd like to know if there is some artificial intelligence algorithms inside the box in order to look for this optimal speed. Am I right?
Well, right now there is no artificial intelligence for the application, because since it has to be a real-time application, it must be very fast. Our patent works on this kind of part. So we have a solution that in a few seconds, actually even less than seconds, will allow us to understand what's the perfect speed. The artificial intelligence will be applied after that in order to optimize the grid routing of the electric vehicle application in delivery use case.
Okay, thank you very much.
Thank you.
Okay. Now we should continue. Thank you for being there, Ennio. Now it should be the turn for Volvero. That I don't know if you're here in Europe or you are in South America. So
hello, everybody. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Hello, it's Marco, CEO and founder of Volvero here. And yes, I am in Chile. So good morning to everybody. I'm sharing the screen, so just allow me 1 second, please, guys. And I hope that you're staying, or for those of you that are in Barcelona, everything is going well. Okay, can you see the presentation now? Albert? Or Eden, can you confirm?
Yes. Yes,
yes, Marco, we can see it.
Perfect. So, ladies and gentlemen, good morning or good afternoon, based on where are you. It's Marco Filippi here, and I am the CEO and founder of Volvero. I'm sure that you still remember your last car rental experience when you tried to rent a car, for instance, when you arrived at the airport. And of course, you recall it because probably this was your expression. So you try to rent a car, but it never works because you wanted that particular car and they give you another car. You pay for something and maybe they didn't even give you one because your credit card was not accepted. Or maybe you simply had to wait for hours queuing at the counter. And sometimes you maybe even left the airport with a taxi or a bus. So for this reason, and others that we will soon see soon, Volvero is the solution that we created. Indeed, Volvero is an app in which owners and drivers can connect with a community of drivers in order to share vehicles in a much easier and advanced way, thanks to the technology that we are using. We are using artificial intelligence and blockchain for increasing the transparency and the reliability in the model. But Volvero is not only this, it's also a great solution for generating new business models for car dealers and car rentals. Indeed, right now they have one single touch point with the client, that is the app that can be used for generating more revenue and more shares of their vehicles. It's a solution for corporates that owns fleet of vehicles that can be this way shared with their employees, their customer, or also used for CSR activities. And finally, the great innovation is that we are matching these different sources also with the private owners. So private owners can become partners, can become the providers of vehicles in the service for the local communities, and thus sharing ownership costs with them. And of course, since the enhanced use of vehicles, we are also impacting on the environment, lowering the pollution, finally getting rid of vehicles from the street, because in general, 30% of the urban areas are occupied by vehicles, and also we save a lot of resources for not being wasted for the production of new vehicles that will remain unused for most of their lifetime. Volvero has the competitors, especially in Europe. There are some local ones, but the situation is that all of the European market is very fragmented because several reasons. And indeed, our number one advantage, if compared to our competitor, is the fact that we were able to develop an insurance policy in partnership with a global player that is called Europe Assistance, that put us in the condition of being faster in deploying the solution across different nations. So we are 4 times faster in the scale-up process than our competitors. And as said, we are using innovative technologies for improving the reliability in the services, the transparency, and also the quality of the users and the cars in the service. Who are our users? Mostly university students, expat, and young professionals from a driver perspective, while from the ownership side, car dealers and car rentals account for 80% of the offering right now, but we are growing in the peer-to-peer space as well. A few words about the team. I am the CEO and founder, experienced in finance. I live in Silicon Valley and work for a VC there. So I take care about numbers and team management. And my 3 co-founders, they are 3 technical persons that are taking care of the development of the app. Then we have a well-composed advisory board in which we have people that are able to take care of sales, growth, marketing, and finance. We make money just by retaining a percentage on each transaction. And for the 2022, we expect to roll out officially the app in Italy at the end of January. We expect to do a pilot in Brussels in April, and then we want to grow internationally and also to do a pilot here in Chile probably in 1 year from now. We believe in partnership. That's why we have very relevant partners. The EIT Urban Mobility is one of our investors. We have the Impact Hub as an investor as well, and we are part of the most famous accelerators in the world that are supporting and offering us the opportunity to grow at an international scale. By finishing, just a few words about the acceleration program that we have done through the EIT Urban Mobility. So thanks to it, we were able to finalize the development of the app. We were able to raise money from institutional investors and also through a bank loan. And we also were able to conclude a pilot in northern Italy to win a tender for rolling out the app in Brussels and to file for 4 patents, other than growing the team and increasing the headcounts to 15 people. In the 2022, we will put our fully focus in Europe, and then as said, at the end of the 2022, we will be scaling also here in Santiago. So ladies and gentlemen, I am Marco Filippi, CEO and founder of Volvero. That's it, all I wanted to share with you. Thank you for being with us here today.
questions for him? No? Just one? Okay.
Hi, Marco. This is. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay, thank you. This is Miguel from UPF. I am also working in blockchain. I am very curious about which is the use of blockchain you are integrating in your app.
Yes, that's a great question. So right now, blockchain is used mostly for storing data about the vehicles, data about the conditions and the quality of the vehicle at the beginning of each sharing. And as well, we are also using the same technology for keeping track and the record of how drivers are using the app, how are they driving. And in this way, we are able to exclude bad drivers, exclude bad vehicles from the service, and create a sort of gamification system in which we are assigning tokens to the best drivers. But for future purposes, we also are collaborating with Corda, that is a consortium that with R3, that is a consortium that created Corda, for creating innovative insurance policies based on the past uses of the service and based on current or on-time data that we are collecting, for instance, related to the time or related to the movement of the drivers. I hope that this was enough. We could talk for hours about it, but I need to be straight to the point.
Thank you. No more questions. I guess everything was really clear from your side. So usually it's the best part. Don't think that more questions mean it was more meaningful. Thank you for being there.
Thank you, Albert.
I guess so early. So
it's quite early, but it's good. I mix the pitch with a good coffee.
Okay, great. Well, later we will announce the winner for this part of the pitches from the jury panel that we have today. Right now, what we're going to do is a roundtable, since they are going to discuss who may be the winner from these 5 great startups. I will present, so when we are mounting this, all the speakers and participants of this roundtable. Xavier Ruiz, who is the CEO and founder of Smart Monkey. During his career, Xavier studied computer science and mastered in innovation. He worked as tech lead at Incubio, that was a startup incubator, and he's also working on several big data projects. Xavier has more than 6 years of experience, of course, leading those data projects and essentially in logistics and last mile operations. He is the CEO of Smart Monkey last mile routing. Right. We also have Robbie Moyano. He's the head of product at VIA. He has 8 years of experience as a technical leader in energy of the electrical vehicles industry. He's an expert in power systems. Everything goes related to it, and energy management systems. Robbie has also continued the implementation of sustainable mobility plans for companies and public bodies as a consultant. So thank you for being here too, Robbie. Thanks. And we also have Cristina Juarez, who is the Chief Innovation Officer at CARNET, the Future Mobility Research Hub located in Barcelona. She comes from a background in social sciences and has a master's degree in digital product management. And for the last 10 years, not 1 or 6, 10, Cristina has been working in several startups and technology projects with a focus mainly on the digitalization of mobility and mainly also on the ride hailing, like calling for the Uber, that's what I imagine, and demand responsive transit and logistics. So thank you also for being here.
Thank you.
Now I guess we have the slides button. I think it's the order. You're going to be just presenting yourself in 5 minutes or less, and you have the slides.
I'll try to be quick. So let's see if my presentation starts.
I guess you have to click the green.
Green one.
Yeah, because
I click.
Nope.
Doesn't work. Click again. Don't worry. I feel this every day.
Okay.
technology.
Click again. No.
Well, this one was. Wait a second.
Wait.
And
too much clicks.
Yeah, I think you've clicked no. It's coming. Well, we can say it.
It's coming. Yeah.
Not. Okay.
Let's see if the full screen appears.
Will come. I guess it will come. No worries. It's a PDF. I think on the right side, but it's open as
just full screen.
Control L maybe.
Yeah,
might work.
Control F.
F.
F. I think it's
okay.
F.
No.
Just try both.
It's to find,
Try anything.
to find, right? Well, that means that it's projecting it somewhere else. No.
Sorry,
no worries. I can start asking you then a question while we are solving this.
Sure.
Then we skip later on. So, just to be landing here, so who do you think is the main driver for this change? Like users, the startups, the city council, who's going to drive this future mobility change? Whoever wants to answer. If not, I'm going to say.
Well, I can start. Yeah,
okay.
No problem. From my point of view, I think that innovation at the end is a circle. It cannot start or end at one point. We are all related to them. So the key in this case is that the ecosystem is strong. So sometimes the innovation comes from academia and then technology transfer into the corporates. Sometimes comes from startup and then they can collaborate with bigger companies in order to scale up. So I think that at the end we need to work on this strong ecosystem and that we can all bring our part in. Exactly, yeah.
So she sees as a Lego, I guess,
right? Exactly.
And
yeah, in my
as a
opinion,
startup.
In my opinion, I think startups get more like maybe crazy ideas to the market, and it's the way to try new things and make things differently. Of course, cities, they're willing to help. Maybe not from the point of view of startups. Sometimes it's we have a different view, but of course we have to work with them. So at the end we have to get a relationship somehow. And corporations, they usually try to steal corporations, try not to fall from this. And I think we're starting to see collaborations between startups, corporations. And I think it's a good opportunity for everyone to grow and to develop new things. And at the end, citizens are who's gonna get the most of these innovations at the end of the day. So,
for us, I think we have a slightly different view, especially because we work in the EV charging space, which might be different, of course, than the rest of the areas that everyone is working on here. What we've seen in our experience is that the public administration is always the first one that does the first step in EV charging. So we are like obliged to work with them to get good projects. But then the sector that carries the initiative, the efforts, is always the private sector. And we're seeing this with the private initiatives, for instance, from Iberdrola in Spain, Enel. They are the main charging infrastructure providers and operators, but everything started because at the end of the day, a couple of municipalities, a couple of governments, local governments started installing EV charging.
Okay, yes, I can imagine depending on the driver that it's gonna bring this change. Yes, in EV charging, we would say that depends also on the country. I imagine US and China differing from this public part, so I guess it will be private one going first, but it's some enabler, and as she said, it's a will, and somebody has to start. So I guess now it's working, Javier. So if you want to introduce.
Thank you. Well, my name is Taurith. I'm the CEO and founder of Smart Monkey, and we try to improve the delivery experience every day. So when we are talking about corporations, corporations are like chains. They're strong, they're reliable, they're secure, but there's some kind of issues when we're talking about logistics and chains, which is the visibility. So with big corporations, you know perfectly on the top of the chain, there's perfect clear, the values, what they're looking for. But when you go deeper in this chain, you start having like more a blurry image of what's really happening. And when we talk about last mile, this is even more blurry image of what's really happening. You know, in this case, you could imagine there's some kind of things that have been distributed, but you don't know exactly how they're doing. And these are one of the few main problems of the traditional operations. Manual planning, which usually could take more than 1 hour or even several hours for a company to organize their work for, on a daily basis. Monitoring by phone the driver, basically it's a very reactive monitoring, so we call them when a customer complains, so obviously we are late. There is very few customer interaction, with at the end it generates quite a low customer satisfaction, and without this visibility it's very difficult to improve. And at the end today, the product itself, it's not that as important as the service we are providing. We are in this serverless business today. So at SmartMonkey, we basically help in these three main processes. We help companies to optimize the routes in matter of seconds or few minutes, having more than 30% more efficiently. We help the drivers to achieve the maximum performance and getting all the information they need from their daily operations. And the final customer, sharing information, we are able to make their life much more convenient because the final customer is the most interested in to receive the goods. So if we share information, they're going to help the driver. So once we have all of this, we could have a perfect crystal clear view of the operations. And just as an example, this is a Prio Energy. It's a gas company from Portugal that they've been able to put in production in less than 24 hours our technology. And this is one of the main features. It's extremely easy to use. So our offer, it's basically save time, save money for the company, improve the customer experience, and provide an excellent support. That everything is aligned with our mission, improve the delivery experience. The final customer making their life more convenient, the driver to be able to improve their daily work, and the manager to how to improve and to organize hundreds of orders every day. And of course, the corporation to have a crystal clear view of what's really happening in their company. These are some of the results that we've achieved with Alpha Logistics, saving more than 30% kilometers on CO2 emissions. Volkswagen, for the spare part distribution network, reduced 25% of costs, and Suez, for its water utility company in Barcelona, improved 21% of their productivity. This is the team who make this possible. We have experience in logistics, we have experience in machine learning, we have experience working with the small and big corporations. These are some of the companies that already trust us, and if you want to join the future of last mile logistics, contact us. Okay. And if you want to read the QR, you'll feel a good route in Barcelona for this weekend.
Okay. Later I will
Thank you.
try it then. So
I go
now,
next, I guess.
Yes, you are, Robbie.
Awesome. Well, thanks for having us. My name is Robbie Moyano. I'm part of the founding team at VIA. We're a software platform that provides smart EV charging services. So we have the two buzzwords. We're a platform, and we provide smart charging services. And what we mean by smart charging is basically the ability to modulate EV charging in real time to provide services to the operator. What we're seeing more and more is that EV charging can be not so convenient as everyone expected at the beginning. It can be expensive depending on where and when you charge. It can lead to an increase in the demand for fossil fuels, and it can even increase the degradation on the batteries. Unmanaged EV charging can be problematic in a number of ways. The problem is that we start connecting our EVs into the chargers, and we get a peak from the grid. We have an instant demand from the charger, and that's not the most convenient way. That's the most convenient way for the driver, but not the most convenient way for the operator of this charging infrastructure. That can be a fleet, a parking lot operator, or the likes. What we've built at VIA is this software platform that manages, forecasts, and optimizes EV charging to reduce the operating cost, reduce the carbon footprint, and eventually also make sure that these assets, these new EV assets, are ready to provide grid services to the network, to the electrical network. We're currently working with fleet operators, parking lot operators, and starting to work with utilities like electricity retailers. And they typically choose us for our ability to co-optimize for multiple criteria. So we are an optimization engine that optimizes for different things that are relevant to the customer, as you can see listed down on the slide. And also for our ability to predict charging flexibility. So our users, our drivers, the end driver that is behind the application, we will predict how long they will stay connected and what are their energy needs so that it's seamless for them. This is just an example of a fleet depot charging where we have implemented our software, and our customers can basically see that we can reduce peak loads by up to 52%, which is up to 20,000 euros of savings by year for just one depot with 30 e-buses. You can see here how the system works, how the optimization engine shapes the new load curves. This is the load curve, so you can see that from a peak of 1,000 kilowatts, we could reduce that down to lower than 200 kilowatts. This is a massive impact, both in terms of operations and OpEx for the operator. Over the last months, we've established and grown our first commercial project with B2B strategic partnerships and commercial deployments. We're working with, as I said, bus system operators, water utility companies, big energy players, electricity retailers. And we have a SaaS business model. We charge a very small implementation fee to set up the ecosystem and a monthly fee per charger, depending on how big the charger is. This is the team that made BIA happen. We're basically a group of data scientists, software engineers, and strategists that is passionate about energy and the intersection with mobility. And this was the reason behind creating BIA. I'll be happy to discuss with you afterwards, although I don't have much time.
Thank you.
Thank you.
And now, of course, Christina, if you want.
Yeah. So thank you also for having us. We are part of the team of the consortium, and I feel a little bit the pressure of the gender. There are not a lot of female voices today, so I will try to do my best to cover this. So I'm here representing CARNET. CARNET is the Future Mobility Research Hub. We were initiated with 3 founding members at the Polytechnical University of Catalonia, Volkswagen Group Innovation, and SEAT. So why these 3 founding members wanted to found CARNET is because our main mission is to shape the future of mobility, and we do that by facilitating cooperative research from the academy, industry, and administration point of view. We are, as I was saying before, the circle, the innovation circle, so we want to cover as an ecosystem that is CARNET itself, the whole circle of innovation, starting from academy, working with students, the technology transfer into corporations, and with corporations, open innovation to work together with startups, and then always and also including the government and the public administration within this wheel. We have 4 different fields of actions: training and education, cooperative research, networking, and scouting. Mainly on training and education, we are providing and working together with academia to provide courses to upskilling or reskilling the needs that the new mobility requires on the fields of mobility and automotive. We also host annually hackathons and a bootcamp, and we have several programs internally for PhDs or postgraduates, and also an international internship program. Cooperative research, we work, as I said before, with the triple helix research activities, so academia, corporate, and government. We have also multilateral project funding and industrial doctorates. For the networking, we participate in international and national trade fairs like ETS, Mobile World Congress, or Smart City Expo. We also work with leading international consortia looking for public funding projects that could be, for example, the old framework Horizon 2020, the new Horizon Europe, the EIT Urban Mobility, and also local and national public fundings. We also help our industrial partners. I will explain right now who they are our industrial partners to find project funding for their projects, and also technological assistance to public authorities. And the last field of action is scouting. We work together with our industrial partners in order to scout for technological or startups. And also we run several programs for startups, acceleration of startups or scale-ups. So as I was introducing before, we have several industrial partners within CARNET besides our funding members. So these industrial partners are from the automotive supply chain and also mobility industry and public transport operators, as well as administration. So what we do with our industrial partners is help them with open innovation, collaborating with startups, collaborating between them in several research projects, and also collaboration with them with academia or our founding partners. Also, CARNET is part of the Volkswagen Research Network. As you can see on this map, there are several hubs through the world from North America, Europe, Central and Eastern Asia. And we are part of this network, leading with scouting for technical and startups for Volkswagen Group innovation in the south of Europe. So mainly we work with cooperative projects, as I said at the beginning. We divide them with different objectives. We have strategic, lighthouse, and partnership pilot projects. And these projects have different fields of action and different focus. As you can see here, we work with vehicle concept, mobility apps, mobility concepts, and business design. So that was in a wrap generally what we do. I know it's a lot of information, but here you have my name and email. If there's anything, you can contact me. Thank you.
Thank you very much to the three that have presented. What are they doing in their daily planning or their daily work? So do you think, for example, demo days or these showcases, those fairs, those congress, are the only places where we interact as startups, big corporates, universities? So where's this place where we meet? Not only with COVID, like before COVID or right now. So where do we meet with the industry?
That's a good question. I think, for example, acceleration programs that nowadays big corporations are launching more and more. I think it's a great opportunity for, as I said before, meeting corporations, meeting startups, trying new things, showing them. I think today it's a good example of a bunch of quite interesting startups can get the boys over their typical ways. I think fairs are as well an opportunity to concentrate in a few days a lot of innovation. Of course, I think there's so much that can be done. I don't have the magical receipt, sorry, but I think we have to find these opportunities. We have to find these places, and I think we have to not be feared to try new things. So probably obviously they're going to fail, but why not if one of them succeeds?
Yeah, and I think that physical events, I was a very virtual guy before COVID. I always wanted to do things, even the whole VIA team is distributed across Europe and the world. Virtual is great, but there's a difference between, of course, being present in a room with people from the industry, meeting them, talking about their problems, meeting at the coffee corner and having a more informal chat. And we've seen that like being something really more useful to us than just virtual meetings. And I think we've all done these virtual acceleration processes and this type of other initiative, but I think it's also interesting to push for in-person events to make this happen, yeah.
Because you've heard that you're doing scouting, and then how do you get to know everybody on the loop?
A lot of scouting, it's hard work that you do on the shadows, let's say. So, but networking, it's really, really important for scouting. And sometimes it was more difficult when it was all virtual because of the COVID, because networking, it's really important when you can meet a person and talk to them directly. So in this case, for us, is more important just virtual meetings. So it's good that right now we are opening and we have more opportunities. I think that there's still room for improvement. So the ecosystem still needs to grow, and there's a lot of possibilities and other opportunities that can be done in order that startups and academia and corporation get together in more different events. But right now we are on the right path. I think that initiative that the EIT Urban Mobility is opening a lot of possibilities also for this business and for this industry. So we are on the right path, yeah.
Okay, because, well, that's what we thought when we participated on the EIT Urban Mobility was the place where to meet everybody. But after a few months of starting, it arrived COVID, as you even said, that everything went virtual. So do you think it boosts some parts of urban mobility, COVID, or it just blocked them to evolve?
Well, I think that depends on. So COVID has been an opportunity for a lot of businesses. In the mobility industry, there have been some players that has been more. So the COVID was more beneficial for them. But I think that it set a playground in order to understand that there are some changes that need to come. For example, for public transport operators or logistics, for example. So I think that it's good because it will be good in the following months or years because it started some discussions, some arguments. So it put on the table a problem that if COVID was not here would have become a little bit later. So I think that we need to be positive and see it as an opportunity to accelerate this process.
Yes. For smart delivery has been
for delivery. I have how would I say that? I have for some of my customers have been like growth like crazy, literally crazy. In 3 weeks, a grocery company here in Barcelona was from delivering 100, 150 to 1,000, so close to 10x in 3 weeks. Obviously, in the way they've been doing it, it wasn't impossible to handle that. This is one of the reasons they find us and being able to survive through this crazy growth. But of course, there are other types of logistics. For example, the Horeca channel distributors were like in the most painful way they've ever thought in their life, and because all their customers were closed, basically. So when all your customers closed, what are you gonna do to stop your operations? Of course. So I mean, in logistics, there are like some extremely good, some extremely bad. But of course, it generates a lot of opportunity. It helps to make them think about the digitalization as something that it's not a card or it's not a differentiator anymore. It's the way to stay in the market in the near future. So I think this change of mind, COVID has helped to accelerate this, and yeah, a lot of opportunities have appeared, and it will appear, of course.
Because from the investment point of view, I remember some investors telling me, we never invested in somebody that we don't met before, and they've done it during COVID virtually. And now they're asking me something that usually it's more difficult from me as an outsider of mobility. It's like, which is the strongest, we would say, product, platform, vertical that it's growing inside urban mobility? It can be different to all of the three of you, but some of them tell me, come on, electrical vehicles, you should be in there. The other one says, no, a platform for management cities that I've seen, like, I would not say 100 years ago, but it's like every year you seem to have a dashboard for a new dashboard for the city. Some other says autonomous vehicle. I'm just saying some, so you think which one you're going to pick. So,
I mean, for EVs, it's definitely good years, which is a space that we know. It's growing like really exponentially, and cities are making like huge efforts to comply with the regulation, with what is expected from the European Commission and what All these forecasts well, are anticipating, but it's not enough. This is what we're seeing. It's not enough from the charging infrastructure. All the drivers are complaining about not having enough charging infrastructure. All the guys that need to install charging infrastructure don't have the tools to do it. So yeah, I mean, it's a good vertical. It's growing a lot. Not sure if it's the one that is growing the most, probably not. But yeah, it's a good space to be in right now. Yeah.
Okay.
Absolutely, logistics.
Logistics, right?
Absolutely. Nothing else has to be said.
Well, of course, we are lucky that there's not only one vertical within mobility that is growing. So I would say that also electrification of mobility, it's really important. Autonomous driving, even though we cannot see it on our day-to-day life yet much. But I will choose something completely different and it would be the digitalization of public transport, that I think that it's really important. And we have seen during this year, 2021, different acquisitions of movements inside of Europe within this vertical on mobility that I think it's very interesting, and we need to go also towards that and focus on that.
Okay, because I was asking this because if you remember, I wrote to you, but Toyota and Honda are like not quitting manufacturing cars, but saying so in 10, 15 years from now. So they have in their plan like stopping manufacturing cars. So what do you think are they going to do? So they are going to come to public transport?
Well, I don't think that the automotive industry will disappear, not in 20 years. That's my opinion. I think that they will evolve and they will include different services. So right now, the automotive industry, it's a product-based industry, and it will shift to a service-based industry, but products will be still be there. Cars will still be there, but there will be more options. We are right now here at Casa Seat, and that's a clear example of what Seat is doing.
I think, in my opinion, I'm pretty aligned with what you said. I think the mobility as we think today, what is mobility, is to have a car and move from one place to another. I think the youngest generations that are coming, they're like looking as a service, no, as a trend. As I said in my presentation, product is not anymore the differentiator, or it's going to be like very the important, but the service and the mobility as a service, and this is what all the car manufacturers are moving and shifting their strategies to, how we are going to help our customers to move from one place to another, no matter if it's in my own cars. Well, Seat has a bike sharing, which are there not Seat bikes, which for someone from outside, it's what the hell is doing Seat? But it is perfectly aligned with this strategy, and I think it's still early in these days, but the near, well, not that mid-term, probably more near, it's going to be like a big shift on that. Obviously, it's going to be very different from big cities than in rural areas. Probably in rural areas, there's still take more time because there is not enough population there. These shared services are going to be more expensive, and maybe the returns of it's going to be difficult, but the big shifts are starting to happen.
For us, I can't really think of an OEM that is not working on mobility services, at least from the ones that we've worked with or had a conversation with. What will make the difference, I believe, in the future is what vertical are they focusing on, or are they becoming experts in? So we're having Seat as a good example. If you think about e-mobility, everyone has Tesla in mind, or even Nissan, which was the first mover a couple of years ago and still a market leader. So yeah, we'll see how they evolve over the next years.
So when you said this, it came to my mind. It will be one of the last questions, then will be another one. But it's how many apps will we need to have, or how many mobile phones we will have to bring to just move around the city? Because you're telling, well, we've seen before some startups are explaining their application directly. You have this product, but you install that app. You have this logistics, but you install that app. you have this charging time, but you have our app, and at the end, well, as a user, it's like crazy. So I guess, well, you know that we will have to come to an output of, well, they talk about blockchain zero, blockchain for exchanging data between platforms. We have lots of possibilities there. So the question was related to the last one, which is the city you believe it's going to be one of the, we would say, urban mobility leaders in, may say, 5 years from now. And, well, you can say Barcelona and another one.
Well, I will try to link both questions. I think that regarding how many apps we need to have, there's mobility as a service that wants to cover that we don't have 20 apps, that we can have everything in one, and that it could be covered the whole mobility needs of a person within a urban or a peri-urban area, from public transport until shared service and everything that you need. So I think that this is one of the aims of the mobility industry also in this case. And as I picked mobility as a service in order to answer that, I think that Antwerp in Belgium is a city that it's investing a lot of it. It's a city to focus on. And really interesting how they are dealing with mobility as a service, how it cooperates with corporates, with all the corporate mobility and personal mobility, and it's really interesting in a city to be checking.
For us, yeah, the apps. I think this is one of the main, well, we're seeing that in the e-mobility space, it's one of the main barriers for EV drivers. They really complain about having to download 3 apps. It's already cumbersome to have this amount of apps. We don't even talk about it. When you cross a border and you want to go to France, you need new applications. This is completely painful and breaks the whole transition to e-mobility. Just to clarify, at BIA we are B2B. We don't provide any apps for obvious reason. And we really just want to layer the smart charging part into what already exists. So if there's an app that is involved in the charging process of EVs, we'll be happy to consume data and send data to it. But of course, we don't have an app in the market, especially because we're B2B or B2B2C focused. And in terms of cities, again, in the field of e-mobility that we know, yeah, for sure Barcelona was one of the first movers in public charging. It was insane, really, since the beginning. I think now they have like 360 chargers just underground from for BSM, and they are growing exponentially, the DC fast chargers on street. I would rather talk about countries that are really doing good job in this area, which would be for me France, in terms of interoperability across different applications or one single application that can aggregate EV charging for everyone. Germany and the Netherlands. These are the countries that we have to look up to do a good job, at least in Spain. Yeah.
Okay. And you, Xavier?
In my opinion, I think, I don't know how many apps. I think there's 2 options. Now there are foldable phones. We have like a papyrus phone, and we have hundreds of thousands of different apps. This is one possibility. The other one, it's going to be like market for 2, maybe 3 apps, and that's all. I mean, China has these super apps, and here in Barcelona we have Global, which tries to move on this super app strategy. And at the end, mobility will end up in this super app that, for example, Google Maps is doing with as an app that now you can reserve taxis, bikes, and I think they have easier than the rest. Yeah. They have already installed in all the phones, so it's quite an unfair fight for this. So this is it's my 2 options for the apps. On the other side, on the logistics sector, I think in Germany, as they have DHL, and England with DPD, I think these are like 2 countries where they're investing and trying new things. All the micro warehouses in the cities, I think it's not the future anymore. It's quite the present, but still they're trying to find the way to make this strategy of delivering successful in terms of economically viable. which right now it's still not yet. And I think the change or the shift will be when the delivery companies are starting to collaborate between them. We're going to see these micro warehouses start being viable, economically viable. But still, it's a long time to happen that.
Okay, so thank you very much. Antwerp, I think central countries like France, Germany, and the Netherlands. You said Germany again. Nobody said nothing from the US, China, where they really control and help evolving things. But thank you very much for coming.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay. Now, if Matteo is here, which I can see it from far, well, we have those slides in here. He will explain if the jury members will also come with him, or yeah, you can announce who is the winner. Yes, please, Christian. Okay, you have it here.
Okay, shall I start?
Please.
Okay, so it's my pleasure to. It has been not a long discussion, but because we didn't have a lot of time, plenty of time to discuss about all 5 projects, we have been really brilliant and really difficult to find the winner. No? We will announce the winner. Matteo will do it in a minute, but we think that is fair to provide some very short information about each project, and this is my commitment on behalf of the jury. No? I will talk about them in the same order that they present. The first one is Pendel. So we like a lot of this project, the running pilots, especially the one in the port of Barcelona, which creates a very amazing pipeline. This is really one of the strong points. On the other side, about Pendel, we like to see more work on the technology solution. Probably the value proposition needs to be reinforced a little bit. This is our opinion, right? The second one is Deeptraffic, which is here, and this is probably the weakest point is very too centered in Greece. So they have plans for internationalization, which is very good in 2022, and this is probably the thing that needs to be fixed, and they're working on it, and we know. The positive is that they are ready to the market. This is very good for a startup, for a company, so being prepared to go there. Okay. The third one has been, according to my notes, Inteligg. Inteligg is addressing a very hot topic, which is the health. It's very good. So it's a very strong point in this company, in this startup company. However, we need that the integration of these devices in the vehicles would be very good, very tricky. So they need to work on that, and according to the jury, this is probably the weak point. The next one is MinervaS with the trucky product we saw. Probably the payback is very interesting in the short term. This has been one of the aspects we would like to highlight, this payback. On the other hand, we foresee some problems in the scalability. Scalability probably will need some additional work from the MinervaS team. And last but not least is Volvero. Volvero has a very global ambition, a very strong team, and the presentation and the goals and achievement has been very terrific. And on the other side, what we have is they are going in a market with hard competition, especially with the rental companies, and having some difficulties with the insurance companies. This is also probably some points that they need to fix. So this is our immediate feedback to the all 5. Congratulations to all 5, because it was not easy to find a winner, right?
Yeah.
Do we have the winner?
We have the winner. Again, congratulations to all the startups. It's been very interesting for us to hear about the pitches and to discuss about the winner. Congratulations also to the organizer of the program and the Demoday today. The winner of the 3rd batch of the Innovation Hub South Accelerator is Deeptraffic.
Okay, so please.
Congratulations.
Okay, if you have a mic. Yeah.
Yes.
So if you want to say,
please.
Thank you.
Okay, I was not expecting that, obviously. What can I say? Thank you very much. I hope in the next 5 years we will achieve the targets we show to you and you will not regret giving us this prize. Congratulations to all the other teams, of course. And big thank you also to the mentors for their support.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. Of course, we hope that this can support you in giving you a boost to achieve the target.
Okay, so now
yeah,
the closure.
Yeah, I'll stay for a little closure.
Yeah, you have a
couple of slides.
Okay.
Actually.
Okay. We move in, yeah. Then.
Let's see if I can change them. Can we put the slides up, please?
Yes,
yeah.
It's a second.
So, first of all, what happens after this program? No, I think this is an occasion also for us, EIT Urban Mobility, to tell you what we have in plan for 2022, because this third batch comes also with the end of 2021. So on the one hand, what we will be doing, how we will be working with startup next year, but also which kind of opportunities there are, not only for the startups that are here today, but not only for next year. So first of all, Eden will tell you a bit more about this, but we are making a transition from regional-based acceleration programs to thematic-based acceleration programs. So far, we had 5 acceleration programs all around Europe, divided in the main European macro regions. Today, we are here for the demo day of the Innovation Hub South Accelerator. This will not exist anymore next year. We are transitioning towards thematic-based programs. We will launch in 2022 5 thematic-based programs across Europe. One will focus on urban air mobility, another one on E-plus mobility, meaning mobility and energy, micromobility and shared mobility, another one on logistics, another number 4 in public realm, and an additional one, number 5, in connectivity. And these programs will accelerate 60+ startups next year in 2022. Then this might be an interesting opportunity for the 5 startups that were part of this acceleration program. We will have a program to support startups in scaling and internationalizing. This program will support 12 startups next year and facilitate 7 pilots with cities and industry players that are partner of EIT Urban Mobility. And then the third activity, which of course all startups are always welcome to apply to, is our investments call. So we do invest in startups, tickets up to 150,000 euros. We are open to co-investment, so also other investors that are active in the ecosystem are welcome to connect with us and to discuss possible deal opportunities. And next year we will close 15 to 20 deals. So also in this case, if you are interested, let's discuss it. Then one additional thing, demo days for me are always the chance also to stop and to think, what did we achieve? Because today it's 1 year and 4 months that we are active as an organization. And I think this is also a nice occasion to look at what has been done so far in EIT Urban Mobility, but also in the Innovation Hub South, where this program has definitely been the flagship program so far. So in the Innovation Hub South, we supported 30 startups, 29 startups in general. And as you can see from the table, the graph on the right, the acceleration program has been let's say, the beginning of our deal flow and the entry gate to the support that we provided to our startups. And this has been, fundamental importance, not only for us as Innovation Hub South, but for EIT Urban Mobility as an organization. Why? Because it also gave us the opportunity to invest in startups. We closed equity in 11 startups in the Innovation Hub South, and we were able to attract almost well, half of the total funding that we gave to startups as an organization, out of which large majority has been converted into equity and around 40% has been free sub-granting. No? I think it's like these numbers gives us an idea of how we are contributing to the ecosystem, which I think it's important to underline. And also in terms of, well, to summarize, 1 year and 4 months of operation, 29 startups supported, 1.06 million attracted to startups in the Innovation Hub South, equity in 11 startups, 2 pilots facilitated and 2 more in the pipeline, but also working with partners. No, it's a nice occasion to underline that as like our partner community in the new Innovation Hub South is very active in our startup activities. Next year, 4 of the 5 activities that will be run in the business creation will have participation from Innovation Hub South partners, and we will have our startups also joining innovation projects. An example is BIA that were part of the roundtable before. And with this, I'd like to close and give the word to Eden, which can say a couple of words more about the program next year. Of course, again, thank you very much to the startups, to the organizer of the program, and the demo day today, which has been very interesting, and looking forward to keep on working together.
Thank you.
Matteo. Thank you very much. So as Matteo mentioned before, I'm not going to share slides because I think it's not still working yet, but I would like to give you a very brief overview about next year acceleration program. So as Matteo mentioned before, we are changing focus from geographical areas to thematical focus. And basically our acceleration program will be focused on 3 main themes, which are energy and mobility, shared mobility, and micro mobility. And the acceleration program, which will be called E+ Mobility Acceleration Program, will be a pan-European program. And we are adding new partners to provide more added value and to be more reachable across all Europe. So more opportunities could raise for the startups applying to the program. The starting dates of application will be open in first quarter of next year. So please keep in touch and stay updated about the final dates. And last but not least, with this, I would like to officially close the demo day today. We would like to thank Casa Seat for hosting us today. Thank you very much to all the team who has been organizing and setting up today's demo day. Thank you, as a really special thank you to the partners consortium who have been working very hard during this 6-month acceleration program. So really thank you to all the consortium partners, and especially to the excellent work that our startups, all of them, have been doing during these 6 months. There has been a lot of commitment from your side. You have really done a great job. We remember when you came, and we are seeing the achievements and results that you're having right now. So we are very happy to see that you have been able to grow quickly in this 6-month program. Then thank you for the speakers and our alumni who have been able to be present here today. So thank you very much for it. It's always great to see our alumni being so active and advancing in their projects. So thank you very much, Bia and well, Robbie, and with Smart Monk and Xavi. And thank you to the jury for your work and selection of the winner of today with Deeptraffic. Congratulations, Evangelos. Really, we're very happy. We're looking forward to see more and to see that you're achieving these 5-year projections. And last but not least, thank you to all the participants who have been able to be here in virtually and physically way. I apologize again, I wasn't able to be there physically. I would have loved to be there, but unfortunately things could not work for me today. And with this, I would like just to close the demo day. Thank you to UPF and Albert for organizing and being there for the demo day. And with this, there is a small reception to people who are there in Casa Seat. There is a small reception. Probably you already know that. Albert will also guide you a little bit more on that. And thank you to everyone for the opportunity to be here and to participate in our program. Thank you.
Thank you, Eden. Okay, so, well, thank you, Eden, for closing it. Now, if you want to come for this small reception, pica pica, we call it in Catalan, here in La Farga, in front, you only have to cross Diagonal Street, and there is La Farga, and then we can have there a small pica pica. Thank you very much for coming. See you.